This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where dad is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual, real, amazing relationships. Life as it's supposed to be done. We invite your calls today. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author and host of The Ken Coleman Show, where he talks about work and about career every day, is here as my co-host today on The Ramsey Show. Open phones at 888-825-5225. The call is free, and some say the advice is worth exactly what you pay for it. 888-825-5225. Lynn is with us. Lynn is in Tulsa, Oklahoma. How are you, Lynn?
I'm great. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So, several months ago, my kids and I and my husband were in an accident, and we are getting a settlement. My kids especially are going to be getting a good settlement. And I'm wondering, what is the best way to go about saving that?
Okay. Are they, is everybody okay?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad. So is there any ongoing medical need or future surgeries that we need to set money aside for?
Surprisingly, no.
Good. Okay. All right. And so what do you think the size of this is going to be? What have they indicated?
My youngest child is going to be getting about $100,000, and then we have about $50,000 in medical bills for him.
For him.
And then the other kids, it's going to be a couple thousand.
Okay,
for them.
But is he got a permanent situation from this, or?
No, it was just when it happened. My kids are here because it wasn't their time to go. I believe that.
It's a bad wreck.
And we were really. Yeah, we were really blessed. It was a pedestrian auto accident. And my kids we were the pedestrians. Mm-hmm. And,
but your baby got had $50,000 in medical bills, but is completely healed.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you, Lord. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to the world, but I know it wasn't his time to go.
Yeah. I'm more than comfortable with that, and I'm also glad for him and you. Yeah, but I'm thinking about how to allocate the money. So the bottom line is we don't need to allocate the money for anything. You've already covered the $50,000 in medical bills, or the 50 is coming out of this 100.
That's coming out of the 100.
Okay, all right, and the others are going to get a handful of dollars. All right, now this is coming through an attorney in a settlement process, I assume.
Correct.
Okay. In more cases than I like, the court will dictate to you what you can invest this in. I don't like it because I think the parent should be allowed to decide what to invest for their own child instead of the judge being the parent. But a lot of judges will take the position that the parents are idiots, and so the child must be protected from their idiot parents' investment. I disagree with that on a lot of levels, morally, legally, and everything else, but it doesn't matter. The judge may tell you have to put it in something stupid, like just a CD. It may not even keep up with inflation if you do that, okay? If you have the option, this child's not going to need this money until they're grown.
No, he's not.
Then I would set the money aside in a mutual fund. I'd get with a SmartVestor Pro and pick a series of mutual funds. It's how I invested my own kids' money that I invested for their college, so why wouldn't I invest this kind of money there? Where it came from doesn't matter. What matters is that they don't need it for 20 years or so. And what matters is that, we need to outpace inflation, right?
Right. And I know, with interest, hopefully, he'll have a good chunk when he's 18 because he's only 2 now. So he has several years. Mm-hmm. And so I'm trying to also figure out how to best teach him to use it wisely so he doesn't turn, get it when he's a certain age and be dumb.
Yeah. Number one, don't let him be surprised that it's there. It's like sex. Don't wait till they're 20 to tell them.
Exactly.
Because they'll mess the whole thing up, And so we need to talk about it age appropriately. We don't slam a 3-year-old with too much information, right?
Right.
But we do teach a 3-year-old something's happening, right? There's something there. And so money, we're going to teach the kid how to handle money because we expect them to have some. By the way, we're going to do that with all your kids. This is what rich people do. They teach kids how to handle money age appropriately. We don't make the 5-year-old go to the salt mines, but we do teach them to work because they need to call Ken Coleman for a career later, right?
That's right. Absolutely. And I think, Dave, I think this is great advice, too, is as you walk him along and the others, at some point they may talk, and he got more of a settlement than they did. So I think this is, telling everybody and the kids, this is not some big secret. This was something that happened because what you don't want is resentment to grow either. So I think this is probably need to be more transparent than normal.
It's the only way. Extra conversations and extra communication shut down all kinds of things, because this a horrible event and is a part, and the survival of it, the miraculous survival of it, is part of your family story now.
Yeah,
and so we're going to tell that story, not to continually bring up trauma, but it's God's hand on our life.
Yeah,
and it's part of the story.
Yeah.
It's part of who we are at our house, and part of it was little one got hurt worse and got more money, and that's just the way life worked. And so, you go ahead and talk about that. I wouldn't surprise the siblings either that he's getting some money when he gets there or she gets there.
Right. We've already told him, you guys will be getting some money, but we're not.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about it. Look, we didn't talk about what the Ramsey net worth was until our kids were grown and we started talking about estate planning with them. Like when they were in college, we started talking about it. But they knew we had some money, but I didn't want them running around school going, my dad has a bigger net worth than your dad. In the community we live in, that's kind of a thing. So, I just want them to think, we're just working stiffs, and we are working stiffs. We just did really well, and so I wanted them to feel the responsibility of it after I had built their character on saving, giving, working, spending wisely throughout their whole years. So by the time I turned this on them, and we started the meeting with, as for me and my house, we serve the Lord. So this is actually a responsibility to manage God's resources for His glory. It is not you hit the lotto. And so when they see the number, they actually kind of felt the weight of the number instead of, woohoo, I can be in a reality show now because I'm
that's right.
I'm stupid and my parents have money. And so, that kind of stuff, right? And so they didn't have that reaction, and none of my 3 did. But again, it was a gradual, increased process through the years. So I would invest it in mutual funds, and I would, just age appropriately begin to reveal that it's there, to where by the time we get there, you're not afraid he's going to go crazy or she's going to go crazy and head off to the Caribbean and do cocaine or something because he suddenly got a bunch of money. I mean, it's just, we're going to fix all this ahead of time. So my friend Andy Andrews says we're not raising kids to be great kids, we're raising kids to be great adults. And that's really the target here. That's where we're going. This is The Ramsey Show. Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career. Well, when it comes to the economy, there's always a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions, fear, anger, shock, dismay. When I filled up my Raptor the other day, I kind of passed out in the parking lot and woke up a little bit later.
That's so true.
Rachel was standing over me making fun of me talking about her Tesla. So I don't know, but it's yeah. Oh man. It's scary out there. See, I got my real estate license 44 years ago, so I've seen a lot of emotion over the years. I got my license in 78. Jimmy Carter was helping us with interest rates. They went to 19. It's 18% fixed. Wow. And by the time I'm selling real estate in the 80s, they were coming back down to 14 in 1982. And we thought that was good. So I've seen a lot of end of the world predictions that didn't come true. And Chicken Little has always been alive and well. And he's alive right now. People are going crazy out there. Some of y'all are scared to death. And if you're under 35, truthfully, this is your first big financial thing. Because the last one was 2008 and you were a teenager. And so this is your first time to actually kind of get the gut punch of what inflation or recession or gas prices or real estate uncertainty feels like. So we're going to help you. We're going to walk you through what is really going on, not your broke brother-in-law that's got the conspiracy theories feelings about the crash of the real estate world because of fiat money or something. We're going to actually talk through real estate data and what's really going on and how real estate prices, where they come from. It's a free live stream called the Real Estate Reality Check. It's this Thursday night. Rachel Cruz, George Campbell, and I are going to do this, and we're going to show you how the market actually works, and then you can decide for yourself. But you need to be dealing with facts, not feelings. And fear is not a fact. Fear is a feeling. And we all have fear. We all have uncertainty. And your uncertainty usually, think about it. The first time you drove a car, how scared you were. Death grip on the wheel. Because you're uncertain. You didn't know how to do it. Now you drive a car with your knees, put on your makeup, and eat your Big Mac on the way to work, right? And so, but because you've gotten comfortable with the process.
That's right.
And perspective of time and experience gives you actual facts and data that says, okay, I can walk, because sometimes people die in cars, but the trade-off's not worth it. It's a long walk. So I'm going to take the chance. I'm going to drive the car. It's not that big a risk. So this is the thing about investing. You got to get used to the ride, and you got to know what you're doing and feel it, and instead of just going on feelings. So Real Estate Reality Check this coming Thursday, July the 14th. Rachel, George, and I go to RamseySolutions.com to sign up. It is a free live stream. RamseySolutions.com/reality check, the Real Estate Reality Check. Be sure and tune in. We're doing this just as a service, just to let you guys know, long-form discussion, charts and graphs and stuff I don't usually do.
Yeah.
It's because it borders on boring.
Yeah, but it's going to calm a lot of people down. That's why people really need to check this out. By the way, your friends and family who are telling you all this scary stuff, tell them about it as well. Send them a link. Let them jump in and get something that they don't see on broadcast news all the time. Speaking of data, Dave, we saw job numbers from June come out. The economy added 372,000 more jobs. So we're still waiting to see, are we in a recession? Are we not? But people need to relax, because even if we see the GDP slow into where we are in a recession, we are still seeing a very hot job market.
Well, I would have been wrong then, because I predict a recession, a light one.
Yeah.
But I think the economy is going to shrink 2 quarters in a row, and shrinking 2 quarters in a row is a recession. It's not the end of the world.
And we might see
it's
that.
It's just a slowing down of the craziness. I mean, because people came out of their caves after COVID, like a Baptist after a casserole. I mean, they bought everything in sight. They started buying stuff hand over fist, and the factories hadn't been making nothing, and so the prices went up on everything. It drove inflation crazy. Yep. And you can blame Joe Biden, but it's not all his fault. Part of it's his fault, but it's, it's not. I mean, if you watch Fox News, everything's his fault. But and if you watch CNN, nothing's his fault. And
they're still talking about Trump. That's all they talk about over there.
But bottom line is that it's Trump's fault. Yeah, that's whose fault it is. I don't know how, but it is. It's probably Reagan's fault, actually. Yeah. But Clinton, that's who we should blame.
Sure.
But yeah, and the truth is none of them have as much control as everybody like to think they do. Yeah. But they can do some stupid stuff, like cut off the gas supply and drive gas prices up.
Oh, sure.
Now, that one was stupid. But a lot of this other inflation stuff is COVID-based because of demand.
Yeah.
And so that's driving this job market thing. Man, I'm telling you, we took some time off for our 40th anniversary last week, and we're in a resort setting, beautiful area. They're having trouble getting people to work.
That's correct.
Still a labor shortage.
We're still seeing more jobs created. The pandemic spun off a lot of new jobs. And so
a lot of people went on their own.
That's true. A lot of entrepreneurs. And so, again, here's the point. What we're going to see in the Real Estate Reality Check, the live stream, you're going to see really good data. You're going to see encouragement in a major part of this economy, and that's real estate. And I'm telling you, in the job part of things, we are still in a historic job economy. We are at 3.6% unemployment. That is the same number that we were in February of 2020. This is right before everybody went home for a season when the pandemic hit in March.
And the economy was quite hot then.
And it was. And so we saw a lot of people lose their jobs. And just to give people perspective here, we're seeing now the unemployment rate back down to pre-pandemic levels. So the sky is not falling.
Did you see that coming? I thought employment was going to cool off.
Well, two things. I did see that we would come out of this pandemic where we had a lot of people.
No, I mean in the last 90 days. I thought it was going to come down.
Yes, because we did see a lot of layoffs in May. Yeah. It was reported big time companies.
That was the condition for the recession, second quarter.
That's right.
Leading into the recession,
Sure.
and this indicates I might be wrong that there might not be a recession.
Well,
because companies don't hire big time in a recession.
They do not. And so I think you're going to see parts of the economy we might technically see a recession. I'm studying a lot of economists right now. They're still waiting to see. I think your prediction is going to be right. I think we'll see an actual small recession of the GDP. But that can be true at the same time we see companies laying people off. We saw big tech lay a bunch of people off in May as a reaction to a slowdown in consumer spending. Amazon announced layoffs.
Really?
Yes. In the last 2 weeks. But that's because inflation fears are naturally bringing people, the everyday consumer, the American family that we talk to day in and day out, they are spending less. We are seeing consumer spending drop. But it doesn't mean that you'll see layoffs happen in a healthy economy and you'll see people add jobs. So what we're seeing now, Dave, is a little bit of a reset and a return to a normal job economy where some companies and industries will lay off, others will increase. So, for instance, I think you're going to see in the construction and manufacturing spaces a lot of jobs added, and we saw that in the June job report because now things are starting to heat up again.
Well, that's encouraging because that's people who make things.
Yeah, and see, you're going to share this, I'm sure, in the Real Estate Reality Check event we've been talking about. But a healthy construction and housing start economy is always good. When we see good things there, we see good economic indicators. Yeah. So I just think, to your point, let's focus on the facts and not the headlines that are designed to get you to click on them, designed to get you to snap your neck in the living room and keep watching.
So if the jobs report came in that positive,
in fact, the only area that contracted, Dave, were government jobs.
Oh, darn. And,
I knew you'd appreciate
killing me here.
I knew you'd appreciate that.
Yeah. To which we all said, thank you, Lord. But and the congregation said amen.
Right.
But all right, so, because the Great Resignation was both an existential thing where people got the crap scared out of them. I'm going to die someday, so I'm not going to work a job I hate.
Yes.
So I'm going to quit this job and go do something else. That was an element of it. But another element of it was there was such a shortage of labor, they could go.
They could.
Anywhere they wanted to go and do anything they wanted to do. And it also spurred up this work from home stuff.
That's right.
And people were tolerating anything just to hire people.
That's correct.
In terms of, you work wherever you want, just help me, I need some help, and that kind of thing. And so I was wondering, I kind of had the hope that was all cooling off, but if this job report's heating up, then that stuff may still rock on for a while. We may be sitting in that all summer.
You're going to see the Great Resignation, the job hopping continue because we saw May's numbers, 392,000 jobs were added, June 372. So you're looking at almost 800,000 jobs in the last 2 months. Things aren't as bad as the news would lead you to believe. Yeah, there it is. Real Estate Reality Check. You got to check it out. It's going to be a great event.
This is the Ramsey Show. Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information. Join us anytime in the lobby at Ramsey Solutions. There's all kinds of things to do here. It's kind of a visitor center almost, including watching ugly paint dry, us do the show for 3 hours every day. We're here from 1 to 4 Central every day live. A couple of us Ramsey personalities doing it every day. And with very rare exceptions, obviously holidays and things, we're not here. But come in, there's homemade chocolate chip cookies and coffee, and it's all free. And there's usually 50 to 200 folks hanging out here. Also included in the lobby is the debt-free stage, and Jeremy and Heather are on that. Hey, guys, how are you?
What's happening, Dave?
Where do you guys live?
We live down the road in Columbia, Dave.
Oh, right down the road. Neighbors then. Okay.
Yeah.
Muletown.
Very cool. Good to have you.
Yeah.
So, how much you pay off?
$50,000.
All right. How long did that take?
About 23 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
It was about 83 to about 130.
Very cool. What do y'all do for a living?
I work at Pinnacle Bank in Franklin, so I work in loan operations.
Yeah.
Really good job. Very thankful for it.
Good people.
Yeah.
We bank with them.
Yeah, really good people.
You
Yeah.
won't see me in the loan operations side, but yeah, but the rest of it's awesome. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a national account manager for an outdoor power equipment company.
Oh, great. Very cool. Good for y'all. All right. So what kind of debt was this? 50,000.
Let's see. It was a variety of stuff, Dave. Medical debt, IRS stuff.
Student loans.
Student loans.
Medical
a car,
bills. Cars.
Court stuff from my first divorce.
Yes.
Y'all
First marriage.
are kind of normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long you been married?
2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Oh, okay. So
yes.
you get married and you say, okay, one of the things we're going to do immediately, because 23 months, right? You must have started almost immediately. Tell me your story. What happened?
Well, basically, Jeremy started telling me the Dave Ramsey story when we first met. Jeremy is very, very good with finances, and I myself was not, and so it took a lot of encouraging
You work in
and
a
lot
bank.
of time. I know.
Right.
Well, previous to the bank, I waitressed and bartended, and so
All right.
there was a lot of cash. There was no bank account. There was no budgeting. I actually didn't even really comprehend what budget entailed, and so when we first met, shortly after we started talking about finances and the idea of the budget, and so it took a very long time for me to get on board.
Yeah.
I was what you call budget-ish. I said we can do a budget-ish, but yeah, I wasn't
Jeremy
really
wasn't
on board.
having that. Jeremy, he wasn't going with that.
Budget was a 4-letter word for a while.
So how did you break your foot? No, I'm kidding.
That's a whole nother story.
That's an ultimate Frisbee story, yes.
Okay.
I wish it was cooler than that. It was actually my Achilles tendon, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
Ow, that hurt just hearing it.
anyway,
Man.
all
Okay,
good
so
now.
so you're newly married and you don't even know what a budget is. You said
No.
you're budget-ish, and so you break it to her, and you seem like a free spirit. Is that fair,
Yes,
Heather?
spender, baby.
So
Yeah.
how tense was it when you really started to lock in on this? Was it really hard?
It was horrible. Like, I remember the thing that actually set me on the right track was I actually actually watched Rachel, and I watched her talk about when her and Winston first sat down to do a budget, and she rolled her eyes and she said, "Oh, you're one of those people." And so I think watching Rachel, there was something where I connected with her and I connected with what she was saying. And so that kind of made me want to go ahead and take the plunge. But every budget meeting, it was kicking, dragging, screaming. 3 months. It took us 4 months before I understood that when you have a budget, that means you don't go over. It means you actually stay under this designated amount. And
you just thought it was a suggestion.
Yes, budget-ish.
Guidelines.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Rachel is the nice Ramsey.
She is. And a free spirit, so I could see how you connected with her. Like, if Rachel can do it, I can do it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and poor Jeremy was like, he is amazing. He's been so patient, and he's been so kind, and he's had so much grace. And so it's really been a journey, and it's really been a journey for our marriage, too. You really get to know one another, and you really push yourselves, and you kind of see what you're made of, and you learn how to work together. And so it's been amazing. Yeah.
That's good. Very good. Very, very cool. Okay, now you did it. 50,000 in 23 months.
So now we can spend lots of money, right? Yes.
Now you get to still be a grown-up, and you decide if you're going to spend lots of money. You don't need my permission to do it. You get to do whatever you want to do. Right. It's between you two. I'll let you guys figure that part out. But yeah. So what is the secret to paying off 50 grand in 23 months?
It's a few things, Dave. I think it's the budget is, of course, you have to do the budget.
Right.
Every month is really different.
Yeah.
So, I mean, different things happen month in, month out. So you have to do it every month. I think consistency, intentionality, and really one thing that really for us was from day one when we decided to do this. We both know what it was like to struggle.
Yes.
Heather, into her, like I said, we got married in our early 40s.
Yeah.
So she knew what it was to struggle. Like I said, I had a previous marriage. I know what it's like to be a single dad struggling. And coming together and having two incomes.
Was a blessing.
That was a blessing. But then we decided from day one, as we do this plan, we're going to start tithing every paycheck,
Okay.
And that's been a game changer.
Yeah, and honestly, we wanted to make sure that we made mention of that and talked about the tithing because, we know that everything we get comes from God. And so to be in a place where we have two incomes where we're able to give back, and I have a list of probably, 20 animal organizations that we're going to give to when we get to that step. But giving back to God is like the most important thing for us. And so we wanted to make sure that was something that we mentioned today.
Yeah.
And he blessed us along the way a lot.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
It was amazing.
I already know the answer, I think, but I'm curious as to your take on it. Why do you think it is that when you start tithing, it changes everything?
Go ahead.
I think number one, you're acknowledging that, like I said, everything comes from him.
Yeah. Exactly.
Number two, I think it starts instilling generosity. So, even above tithing, there were times throughout those couple of years, maybe our church was raising money for something, something specific, and we were able to give and do that or help out, some individuals along the way when we could. So I think it's just about a posture of your heart. And
and it's about it's a posture of your heart, and it's giving. Everything good we have comes from God, and the reason why we're both standing here and we've been through every trial and tribulation we have is because God has brought us through it, and God has always been good. And so for us to be able to be good to God, like it's the right thing to do. It's biblical, and I think just having a posture of your heart that instills giving, like. It's just a beautiful thing. And so we just love the fact that money goes to the church, and it goes to food banks, and it goes to, it filters out to people who really need it.
Very good. Very good. Well done, you guys. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something about when you take your eyes off yourself, the posture of your heart, and you put your eyes on other things, other people, others. There's a nobility to that changes who you are. and then you don't whine as much about something in the budget.
Yeah,
It changes that. I didn't say. I said as much. Right. I said as much. I didn't say not at all.
It's still a process,
we all reserve a little room for some budget whining.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Some more than others.
Very transparent, Heather. It works, but gosh, it stinks.
Yes.
Yeah. I love it. Good stuff, you guys. Well, we're very, very proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you so
Dave.
much.
Who were your biggest cheerleaders?
We had some friends in the church.
Yeah.
We had some folks that worked here that we knew, and my parents were very supportive along the way too. So
we got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you.
Great.
That's the next chapter in your story. A copy of the Total Money Makeover for you to give away and help somebody get started on this same journey, and also a 1-year subscription to Financial Peace University.
Great.
Cool. And the brand new videos that are in there, and they'll change everything. Way to go, you guys!
Awesome.
Thank you
So proud of y'all.
much.
Jeremy and Heather, Columbia, Tennessee, 50,000 paid off in 23 months. Newly married, did it with
Let's go
83,
spend some
making
money.
130. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free.
Woo! That's fun. Very well done. This is the Ramsey Show. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Michael is in Las Vegas. Hey, Michael, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
All right. So here's kind of the rundown. I am 38. I have 3 boys, and I'm going through the middle of a divorce.
I'm sorry.
It is what it is. Trying to make the best of it, though. We are splitting the house, though, 50-50, and Zillow currently has as estimated at $108,000. We already kind of have a buyer. He wants to bring in his own assessor, and whatever it is and whatever price we agree to, obviously we're going to split it 50-50. On the low end, I'm thinking it's going to be around about $300,000, less the broker fees and all that other stuff. The question is what should I do with that? Because my dad says I should maybe get an apartment, kind of figure it out for a little bit, see how the housing market goes up and down. I'm thinking I should buy an RV, a nice one,
No.
roughly.
Your dad is right.
Not an RV?
No, your
Okay.
dad's right. RV's going to go down in value. This is not the time for an adventure. You need to just get calm, settle down for those boys, and just settle in, and then wait a year and then buy something. I'm fine with that. I think your dad's right on track. Because RVs are hard to sell, and they go down in value. And so you're getting ready to park your money in something that's hard to sell and goes down in value.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I do want to get out there and use the RV as more than just, something to live in. But maybe I should scale that back.
But just
and
go
get
rent
like
something.
A trailer as opposed.
Yeah, just go rent something.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy anything. Just go rent something.
Okay.
There's plenty of RV rental things out there. Several programs out there that you can rent. If you want to be gone for 3 weeks with the boys and just have a post-divorce healing time, a trip to, whatever, Yellowstone Park or the Grand Canyon or whatever it is you're going to do, and something where you just spend a lot of time with them and you're going to rent something. But, that's going to cost a handful of dollars. You'll lose more than that when you drive the new RV off the lot.
Okay. And then so reinvest into a house. The other thing is what should I do? I want to set up like a college fund for the boys as well.
Okay. Are you debt free?
I have about $6,000 in credit cards, and that's literally it.
Okay. All right. I would pay those off and cut them up and get debit cards so that you don't go into debt again.
I already cut those up.
Good. You're on track. Okay. And let's set aside a portion. You're getting actually $50,000, half of the 100? equity?
No, it's a $300,000.
It's paid for?
I'm getting. Yeah, no, the house is worth about $700,000.
Oh,
So
you're getting $300,000.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought it was selling for earlier. There was $100,000 discussion. Okay. Anyway, all right. So you got $300K. That's awesome. We'll set aside a chunk for an emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of your household expenses. What do you make a year?
Right now, I'm in between jobs. I get a stipend from the VA for.
What would you make when you get back to work?
Right around $30,000.
Okay. So if you set aside $15,000 for an emergency fund, you'll be fine. If you set aside another $10,000 for trips and rental fees and whatever, and take the boys somewhere, that'll be fine. Okay.
Okay.
And then you go rent an RV. You can rent one forever for $10,000. Oh my God. And so then we're going to just park the rest of it for a year and rent something inexpensive. And just let yourself settle down and decide when some of the smoke is cleared out of your brain from this, you'll make a better decision on a piece of real estate.
Okay.
Like you don't want to get remarried. You don't want to get remarried 3 days after you get divorced. That's called rebound. And buying a house on the rebound is also a bad idea.
Okay. All right. And the other thing is the boys' college fund.
You'll get it. Yeah, you can sit down with a SmartVestor Pro. They'll help you park the money for the year and get some going to kids' college, and you'll have the rest of it for the down payment on the next house.
Okay, I've got you.
You make $30,000 a year. How the crap did you end up in a $700,000 house?
Her parents help with some of the payments as well.
Okay, and they're not recouping any of that. You're still getting half of it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
What's the plan going forward for you professionally?
Well, initially, like I said, I was going to take some of this money and invest into a business that I was going to start. But I think right now, I think I just need to try and figure out what I should do with this money and really evaluate if going into business for myself is the smart move, or if I should just get back on track with a job.
I would do that first. So as Dave was talking about not buying a house on the rebound, don't start a business on the rebound. Get a good, stable day job. And as you begin to settle into renting and settle into parenting these boys as a single father and all of the new things coming your way, then you begin to look towards the future. What is it that I want to do? What's the best way to do it? I would hold off on starting any business for a while.
Yeah, business is too hard to fall into it.
Yes.
You got to walk into it with your shoulders square and a resolute look in your eyes, like you're bound to determine to start a business, because it's hard. It is not an easy process. Johnny's in New York City. Hey, Johnny, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
How you doing, guys?
Great, man. How can we help?
Good. I'm trying to decide if it's a smart move to sell my paid-off car to accelerate paying off my student loan debt.
What's your car worth?
So right now, I could probably sell it for about $9,000 to $10,000.
What do you make?
And I have about $80,000 after bonus.
And how much is your student loan debt?
$14,000.
No, I wouldn't sell it. How old are you?
25.
Okay. So where's all your freaking money going?
That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that ain't going to be fixed by selling your $9,000 car. You make a ton of money and you're wasting a ton somewhere.
Yeah, but I have been actually paying off a lot of student debt. I started with $50K.
Oh, good. Okay, that's not as bad a story then. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not completely thrown away, but
yeah,
I'm getting a little exhausted of, sacrificing so much, and I don't necessarily need my car.
How much did you pay off in what period of time?
In 3 years, I've paid off $36,000.
Dude, you haven't exhausted anything.
Yeah. Okay.
That's $12,000 a year out of 80. That's pretty wimpy. You should not be exhausted from that.
But this job that I do have now is actually pretty new.
Good. Oh, okay. You weren't making 80 the whole time. I keep beating this guy up,
right,
and then he keeps coming back.
Well, I want
to back off of him.
Well,
okay.
I want to help a little bit, Johnny. You said you don't need the car. Why don't you need the car?
He lives in New York City.
I know, but I want to hear him say it.
Yeah. I mean, I think I commute to work without my car.
Yeah, so you literally don't need it at all. I mean, if you were to remove it today, would it change your habits of transportation getting in and out of the city? Not at all, correct?
No, it wouldn't. I think it's just more a luxury item to go visit family or friends.
I would sell it. I would, Dave. Okay. I would sell it in his case because it's going to fast forward the process. If he gets 9 or 10 for it, now he's got 5 left. He can pay it off quickly.
I'm game with that. But Johnny, let's make sure we do get to the bottom of. You don't have to do it with me, but you got to do it with the guy in your mirror. Mm-hmm. You need to get to the bottom of what you kind of indicated. That you've, in one sentence, you were sacrificing deeply and you were exhausted. In another sentence, you were talking about how sloppy you were and that you could do more. So I'm not sure where you are. And so I was trying to pick on you, and then I couldn't pick on you, and I can't figure out what to do. So I'm trying to help you. But the point being, I want you to look in your mirror and go, okay, what do I need to do as a 25-year-old man? I need to man up here. And what have I got to do to be grown up and handle my money with diligence in a way that feels very dignified and noble because I'm being such an adult about it and I'm not partying my life away or I'm not disorganizing and being sloppy. Because if you're making $80,000, you ought to be able to pay off 14 in a heartbeat.
That's right.
Okay? That's the thing I'm hearing. But you just started making that, and then parts of it you were sacrificing and parts of it you weren't. So you got to figure that out. But I don't want you to sell the car and still not face the guy in your mirror. So sell it. That's fine. But only if you look at the guy in the mirror and tell him he needs to straighten up. Because that changed my life when I did that. And I was about your age when I did that. And I'm a multimillionaire now because I did that. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from the Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is The Ramsey Show.
You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career.
You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. This is The Ramsey Show. We help people build wealth, find work and do work that they actually love, and create amazing relationships. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, host of The Ken Coleman Show, is my co-host today. He's also a #1 best-selling author, an expert in the worlds of career and work. We're here to help you. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Al in Raleigh starts off this hour. Hey, Al, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
I got Raleigh and Allie all tied up there for a second. So I'm beautiful, man. How can I help?
All right. So I'm calling because, it's career advice. I got out of the military last year, and since then I've been in between a few jobs. I'm currently working as a trucker now, and I'm a full-time college student. I'm going to school online. About halfway through with that, I'm on baby steps 4, 5, and 6. Thank you for that. And basically, I'm having a lot of self-doubt and kind of falling out of love with my degree program and more in love with my job right now. And I don't know which one I should pursue more heavily. If I should buckle down and keep going, finish out my degree and, hope I fall back in love with the program.
What's the degree?
Get that career.
What's the degree direction?
Electrical engineering.
Interesting. And you've fallen in love with trucking, huh? Driving the truck?
I have. Yeah. I'm very fortunate right now to be working a local position, so I don't have to go over the road or nothing. Mm-hmm. Monday through Friday, reasonable times. Be with the family on the weekends. So
what's
I'm very fortunate with that.
Yeah. So that's that's a pretty all-inclusive gig in the truck, and you either love that or you hate it. I don't find a lot of guys that are middle ground on that, and I think that's really interesting. I think you have to listen to that. The question I have is, if you were to slow down, you're halfway through it. I'm assuming you got the GI Bill, so you're not paying out of pocket for the degree, correct?
That's correct.
And you chose electrical engineering, I'm wondering, because maybe you did some of that type of work in the military, or no? Was it just out of left field?
No. So prior to the military, I was on a robotics team in high school,
Gotcha.
and I really enjoyed it.
Yep.
But after doing 11 years in the infantry, I got tired of being a dumb grunt. I wanted to go back and use my brain, but
right.
It feels like things are piling up, and like I said, I'm having some self-doubt on it. So,
what's piling up? There's the answer. What's piling up? Describe what you mean.
Well, as the course load gets more and more difficult, I find myself having difficulty concentrating on the work. Like when I'm on and the days are going well, I get it and everything clicks and everything moves along. But on the days I'm not, and there's quite a lot of them, just getting my thoughts together is really, really hard. Okay.
So what I want you to focus then is what led you into the electrical engineering degree. And obviously there's something from your past, robotics. You love to work with your head and your hands. You've got that kind of wiring in your brain, but it doesn't mean that this particular path is the best path for you. And so I would not make any decision to walk away from the degree right now, but I would take 30 days, just as a ballpark figure, to really dive into what are some fields that I am intrigued by, I am interested in, that would involve that type of engineering brain that wouldn't require the degree and that class work and that type of work. Because I think there's some silver lining in here in that you've done some robotics in the past. You're intrigued on some days, you're thriving on some days and not on others. And that could be course related and the type of work. So instead of throwing it all out, I want you to actually dive in a little bit more. And it's almost an old school exercise. I've got a pad. Hold on one second, Dave. I got a pad right here, and I'm going to go to those classes on the days that I'm struggling. I want to write down what's making me struggle, what's causing me to struggle, and in the days that I'm thriving, why am I thriving? I would dive into that a little bit more over 30 days before deciding to get out of the degree experience.
Absolutely. I completely agree. Hey, Al, when I was in college, I went to this, I went in this one class, and when I left there the third day, I felt really dumb. It was really hard. Are you struggling with that? Academically, it was straining my brain.
No. Academically, I mean, I maintain good grades, but there's just some self-doubt creeping in just because.
Yeah, you mentioned dumb grunt earlier.
Yeah,
and I'm a little bit afraid. I'm a little bit afraid that this is like your first academic challenge, and I kind of want to encourage you to push through it because I think you got the stuff.
Okay.
Because I think it's self-doubt. I don't think it's reality. Am I wrong?
No, I don't think you're wrong.
Okay. And you may need during the 30 days, you may need to set your study habits pattern up better. Because it sounds like your catch as catch can. And if you got something that's deep and that is scratching the back of your brain, like I'm talking about, that's very hard academically, it's like thick and weighty and hard to push through. I've been in those classes and I don't like them because it pisses me off when I can't get something quick. And, you know, if you have to do that, the only way to push through that is a study habit pattern that gets you real quiet, real centered, away from humans, no distractions, and you push through the concepts and get your head around them. And that's going to take you on through if you got a heavy academic thing, it'll push you through it. Study habits will do it. And the setting, and if you're trying to do this like while you eat dinner at the truck stop, that ain't going to work, man.
No. Al, I'm curious. Is there a job in your mind that if we offered that to you today, we fast forwarded all the degree stuff and you got to go do it? If you got something in your mind right now, would you do that over trucking if you didn't have to struggle through all this and all the doubt went away and we just gave you the opportunity to step into it?
Yes, 100%.
You would 100% take that type of work over trucking?
Absolutely.
Okay, so there's the answer.
Yeah.
So there's the answer. So again, the exercise I gave you, plus what Dave is telling you, you have to identify what's causing the self-doubt. And that's the source of this. Once we get to the bottom of it, so fear is, I'm afraid something bad is going to happen. Its cousin is doubt, and doubt is, I don't think something good can happen. And that's what you're dealing with. I don't know. I'm 2 years in. I don't know that I can get through this, that anybody will hire me because I was just a military grunt. I'm just a truck driver. I think, Dave, that's the source. It's a narrative in Al's head that he's not good enough.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what I'm hearing is actually you are good enough. You've actually got the stuff. Because you didn't tell me, like, there's no way I can do this. I mean, you didn't say that. You're like, I can do it.
Yeah.
I'm getting the grades. I've just got to get my head around. I got to get the habits and the rhythm. You know what else you might do? You might visit someone that is actually doing what you want to do someday.
Spend time with them.
Maybe hang out with them. Yep. Maybe who you're hanging out with is telling you can't do it. You got to be careful who you hang out with.
I asked you, Al, if we give it to you, would you take it? And you said 100%.
Then go get it.
So go take it.
Go get it.
Nobody's going to give it to you.
Get them. Get them. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. Thank you for joining us, America. Every week on our show, we hear from callers who are in the wrong career or not using their talents. It's happening, isn't it, Ken?
It is a lot. And so we, as an organization, Dave, a couple years ago, we got together. We have some smart people in this building, like really smart people. And we
try not to let them on the air, though.
Right. And so we said to developers, what if we could help people identify what they do best? That's their talent, their top passions. That's work they really enjoy doing. And then a sense of mission, meaning what motivates them? What results do you want to put out into the world? And so we put it together. It's called the Get Clear Career Assessment. And it is a wonderful tool that takes about 20 minutes. And in about 20 minutes, you're going to get a very specific report in those three areas. What are your top areas of talent? What are the top areas of passion, work you love to do? And then what results motivate you? And you talk a lot about motivation. You've always said you can't motivate wet wood. And this is the idea that if you're in work that you're good at, that you love, and that produces results that get you up in the morning, get you fired up, then you've got a great chance of not just making great money, but making great impact. So we created the assessment, and tens of thousands of people have taken it. It's a $30 price point at RamseySolutions.com.
Pretty simple. If you do the Get Clear assessment, I can make you one promise. You will be clearer.
Yeah, and that leads to confidence, and then you can make it a right decision.
Because a lot of people, Earl Nightingale used to say, people spend more time picking out a suit of clothes than they do their career.
Isn't that true?
And it's like they fret. And, you're getting ready to buy a piece of electronics. You read all the Consumer Reports data. You do everything else. You do all this deep research to buy a freaking stereo or a TV or whatever. But and then you just go, why'd you take that job? My buddy said they were hiring.
I can't tell you how many times I've heard somebody say, I fell into it. I just fell into it.
It was the first thing offered after college. Here I am 38 years later, and I've been miserable the whole time.
That's the majority of American workers.
Yeah. Yeah, and no reason to be that way.
No.
No.
Because here's what happens. Your income and your impact rise together when you're doing what you were created to do. And so that's what the assessment does. It's a great way for those of you that need a bigger shovel. The reality is to make more money, to get out of debt faster, you're going to do it by getting promoted or having to pivot, and this will help you.
Good stuff. Blinds.com gives us our question of the day. They have a 100% guarantee. That means if you mess up, and I have, if you mismeasure, and I have, or you pick the wrong color, and I do, they'll remake your window blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Always use the magic word. The promo code is Ramsey.
Today's question comes from Tom in Illinois, and this may be my favorite Blinds.com question of all time. I listen to the show every day, he says, and appreciate how you advise people about money, but I'd like to ask Dave, given your net worth, Dave, why are you still working?
It makes the assumption that I was working for money.
That's right. It's true.
And I quit working for money a long time ago. I make money, and I use it for keeping score because I want to know if I won the game. But am I actually serving? Because if you serve people, they'll give you certificates of appreciation with presidents' faces on them. My friend Rabbi Lappin says that. And so I like keeping score. But no, I don't. You're right. I'm not working because of my net worth. I'm not working because of that. I'm working because of the impact, what you said earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, let's just be real, okay? A couple guys.
I like this.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't like a job who for 3 hours every day people call and ask your opinion about something?
It's a very good point.
Where else would you get that?
So true.
You don't get that at home.
No.
Nowhere else do you get this.
Yeah.
It's a freaking ego stroke. But
yeah.
I mean,
you speak in front of thousands and thousands of people, you know.
Millions here on the air.
Yeah.
And you know, people actually ask my opinion, and some of them care about it.
And there's the thing, your name's
so
splashed
fun.
all over the building. That can't be bad walking in every day.
That don't do it. That don't do it.
No, I'm kidding.
That gets boring fast. But
yeah.
No, I mean, really, it's a great job.
Well, it is. And, you know, you talk about this all the time. I mean, when we look at the problems in our culture,
I've never run into anybody in 30 years in a restaurant that came up to me and goes, Ramsey, you got me out of debt. My life sucks. I hate you.
Right.
That has never been said to me.
Doesn't happen.
Now, I've had people mad at me about other things, like, you don't need to talk so much about politics. You're mean on the radio. I hear that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But nobody ever said, you got me out of debt and I hate you.
It's true. It's
just never
true.
got that in 30 years. So, no, it's fun. It's a good
Everybody
question.
loves to give their opinion. That's why that whole, remember Jay Leno, our friend, they used to go out on the
social
streets,
media's a
ask
wreck.
people their opinion. They'll tell you anything.
Yeah. Social media's a wreck for that very reason.
Oh, yeah.
Gives a bunch of people an opinion that shouldn't have one. It's just crazy. So,
that's why you do it.
I like stirring up a ruckus.
Yes.
All right. Julie's with us in Atlanta. Hi, Julie. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hello. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I am currently changing employers, so I'm leaving my current company, and I'm over 55. My husband and I are fairly new to the baby steps. We're only 3 months in, so we're in baby step number 2.
Good.
It's my understanding that I can cash out the 401k that's with my current employer since I'm 55 or older without penalty other than the taxes that I owe. So I'm wondering if that would be a good idea to put towards our debt snowball, and then the best way to break up that snowball to have more of an effect.
What do you do for a living currently?
I'm a physical therapist.
Okay. All 401ks are a 59.5. I have run into one or two particular occupations that are 55, and I don't think you're one of them. I think you might have bad info. I don't think you can cash it out to 59.5. Even if you can, I'm going to tell you not to, because I have a sense that you have the income to go ahead and clean up your debt now that you've decided to, without destroying your retirement, to do it. How much is in the 401k?
This one is only like 17,000.
Okay.
I've changed jobs over the years. My husband's a football coach, so we've moved around. So I have a lot of them that I could roll in together, and I just haven't done that.
Yeah.
So,
well, I would get with a SmartVestor Pro and roll them all and get them in one place so that you can manage them in good mutual funds. And then I think you're going to find that this 17 is going to be taxed and penalized. If it is, that means it's going to be like a 30 or 35% hit.
Right.
And you wouldn't borrow money at 35% interest to pay off this debt.
Right.
So in that reason, I would roll it over.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, now I would not roll it
Howard or something said you could do it at 55, but that, again, it might be bad info.
Who did? Who told you that?
Clark Howard didn't tell me that. I mean, I heard on one of his his radio shows.
Yeah. Clark, he may have been addressing one of the particular occupations, and there's a few of them, and I'm pretty sure you're not it. Okay, it's usually some kind of a special school district thing, or maybe a railroad person, something in those areas. It's not a mainline corporate job like you've been having. So, Clark's a friend of mine. He's very smart, and so probably who he was addressing at that moment was in that area, but most all of them are 59.5. So I'm going to tell you to roll it with the others with a SmartVestor Pro, not into your new 401k, but into mutual funds, into a good rollover IRA, into good mutual funds. Alex is in Boston. Hey, Alex, what's up?
Hey, not much, Dave. How are you doing today?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
All right, excellent. Well, Dave, so I'm on baby steps 4, 5, and 6. I'm holding no debt except for my mortgage. I pay approximately $2,600 per month. I'm contributing 15% to my 401k. I make about $150,000 per year working as an outside sales rep. I drive approximately 30,000 miles a year for work. Now, my employer provides me with a company car. I've had it for about 10 years, a couple cars over 10 years, and I just received word that benefit will no longer be available come July 30th.
Wow.
My question is...
No notice, huh?
No notice. It came as a shocker to me. Actually, it was this morning. And my question is, I have a large commission check coming at the end of the month.
How large?
Give it $21K.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably just buy a car with it. That's what you're going to need to do. You don't want to drive too expensive a car because whatever you drive with the miles you put on it, you're destroying its value. You're a road warrior. And so this is a cost of doing business. So they just gave you a pretty substantial pay cut, even if they're giving you a car allowance. They're doing this because it's good for them, mathematically. So pay cash for something that you can wear out and that is reasonably comfortable and reliable. But you're going to wear it out, and you're going to destroy its value. So yeah, 20 grand's probably max. This is the Ramsey Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs. We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org/budget.
We absolutely believe in it.
Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, best-selling author, is my co-host on the stage, the debt-free stage in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions. Wayne and Whitney join us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hi, doing good, Dave.
Good to have you guys. How much have you paid off?
Go ahead. $350,000.
Very cool. How long did that take?
We're a little atypical. It took us about 4 months.
Okay, that works.
Wow.
And your range of income during that time?
$230,000.
Okay, and what do you guys do for a living?
I'm a physician.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a stay-at-home mom.
Okay, so obviously you didn't make $350,000 in 4 months. So how did you do this? What was it? What kind of debt was it?
Most of it was student loans. Obviously, being a physician, and I guess we didn't really know what to do with money. So back when I graduated residency, we had over $600,000 of debt. Most of it was medical school, and I felt a moral obligation to pay it off. And we were slowly chipping away at it, but we didn't have any plan or direction. And then COVID ended up hitting, and fortunately, I work in an industry where I was able to, keep earning a fair amount of money. And then I got to a point where I was in a toxic work environment, and I was just living not necessarily paycheck to paycheck, because we were investing in real estate at the same time as being a physician. And I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired, as you guys always say. And I didn't want my children to have to deal with the stress that I was bringing home from work. So in the fall of last year, we found you guys for the first time. And at that point, we had knocked it down about $350,000. But we realized if we liquidated everything, we could pay it off really quickly.
Yeah. So. Everything. What did you sell?
Yeah. So I approached him and I said, hey, I have this idea. Why don't we go ahead and the market's really good. Well, let's go ahead and sell our house and move to, we had a rental home at the time. And I was like, let's move back to our rental home. And so we looked at when that lease would end, and the lease would end actually February of 2022. So it would end in about 2 months from when I had this idea. So we said, this is perfect timing. Let's go ahead and put our house on the market, sell it, and put that towards debt, and then we'll move into at the time, our rental home that would become available. So that's what we did. We put our house on the market and we sold it. We had we put it on at one night, and the next day we had a contract. We sold it, and we put our net profit towards the student loan debt.
Okay.
We had.
And the renters, the buyer let you stay for 2 months?
Well, no, we sold our main home, and so the rental contract was up in February, and we just told our tenant, who was a wonderful individual.
You were able to move directly in.
Yep, we just moved directly in.
I got the timeline confused. Yep. Okay, yep. Cool. So what did your house sell for?
The net profit was about $120,000. Yep. And then we liquidated all of our savings and other investments, because we were trying to do the Burr method, trying to really, flip homes and things like that. And so the rest came out of savings. We dropped everything down to $1,000, like you were saving, and we liquidated everything except our small home and our retirement that I had.
So what was the sale price on your home?
$420,000.
Okay. And what is the home you moved into worth?
Right now it's worth about $180,000.
Okay. So you cut in half.
Yes.
Value-wise, a little more than in half.
Yeah.
And you liquidated everything in sight.
Yes, everything.
To be free and get your life back.
Oh, yeah,
yes.
Definitely.
Was it? You wouldn't be standing here if this wasn't true, but I assume it was worth it.
Oh, totally worth it. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Yes.
We are free, and we feel wonderful, getting out of debt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So the Ramsey method.
Yes,
the Ramsey method.
Yeah, we were really financially just in the wilderness, not really knowing what to do, kind of putting money here and there towards loans. But once we came across the Ramsey method, we got on board.
I'm just joking with you, but that's good.
Yeah, 4 months. I thought honestly, we had talked about our student loans, and we had at one point said, are we ever going to pay off these student loans? We're going to be paying these student loans for life. Yeah. It's kind of what we thought. And then we kind of made this, we're like, well, we'll set a goal for 2025, And so that was our goal, was to pay off student loans by 2025. But then we came across the, Ramsey method and we got on board with each other, and here we are in 2022, we were able to pay it off 3 years earlier than what our goal was.
You still make $250,000 a year, but you don't have payment in the world.
Except our mortgage, yes.
The little mortgage on the house.
Yep.
Okay.
And we're on track to paying off that mortgage
this year.
Yeah. Oh, way to go,
soon.
guys. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
It's got to feel like you lost 300 pounds.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I was coming home stressed and having to deal with everything at COVID and everything. It was bringing home all the angst from work, and it was just not worth it. But the one thing I wanted to mention was realizing that, yes, I could get out of debt quickly once I ran the numbers, but I had to really humble myself, because I had a lot of pride, and I was like, I don't want to give up all these resources that I've accumulated. And, realizing I need to humble myself before God, and, the fact that you showed us that path was so helpful.
I mean, from a stress perspective, your mind has to be clearer. Your quality of patient care had to go up.
I think it did, yes.
I mean, it bothers me a lot that the entire medical community is stressed out.
That's a great point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's a little bit scary. You know, some of the most stressed out and debt-laden people are the people that work on our bodies. Oh, my God, that scares me. Oh, but yeah, I'm so glad you guys are free. You have an area of specialty you work in, or
family medicine, just general practice.
Yeah, that's great. Wonderful. Very cool. All right, so my gosh, for you guys, not caring what other people think, not measuring by other people's yardstick, sets you free.
Oh yeah.
You said this is what we want. We want to be free more than we want to own that thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it's a trade-off.
Yeah.
And now you're free, and now you get to live like no one else, and you'll be able to do anything with this kind of income long term. You're young, you still got a lot of time to do this. So,
yes, sir.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, I quick question, Wayne. When Whitney comes to you and proposes this, I mean, this is the stay-at-home mom with all the kiddos, right? She's going, I want to downsize. I want to sell this nicer home. We're going to go into this small. I mean, were you immediately like, oh, wow, or were you hanging on a little bit? Were you shocked? What was the reaction?
I was definitely hanging on. I mean, I was worried that since she has to be home with the kids, move into a smaller home, I knew that would be stressful. And so it took me a while to to come around. By a while, a month and a half.
Wow. Okay. But, and Whitney, I got to give you some love. We get calls all the time. People think they got to have a bigger house with more kids, and you've actually downsized for this journey, and it's absolutely worth the chaos, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Yes, it's worth it.
And it's not permanent. Hello.
Yes, that's right.
That's the thing. It's not permanent, but we no longer have the debt. So that's the big thing. And so we're able, the money that we get now, we're actually able to save, or we're able to invest in our kids' future, their college future. And that is so reassuring to us that we, the money that we're taking in now is no longer going to our student loans. Yeah. And that's what it was. But now it's going to our, bank account or investments or our children. And so that is just so freeing.
It is. You have so much. You now have control of your greatest wealth building tool.
Yeah.
Which it turned out was not the accumulation of stuff; it was your income.
Yes, right. Very true.
When you got rid of that mythology. Way to go, guys! So proud of you. Very cool. You're a neat young couple. Very, very neat. All right, we've got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. You're going to be that if you're not already very, very soon. You're on your way. And also a copy of the Total Money Makeover for you to give to someone. Maybe you can start them on this journey. And the Financial Peace University class for a year. A membership for that for 1 year. If you've not been through it, go through it. If you have, give it to somebody. The brand new videos are up. It's the best class we've ever done. It's up right now. And so thank you, guys. All right, we're going to get the kiddos in for the debt-free scream. What are their names and ages?
We have Lachlan, he is 5. Logan's 3. Liam's 1, soon to be 2. And then Liliana is 5 weeks.
My goodness. Okay. 5 weeks for a debt-free scream.
Oh, my.
All right, you boys ready?
All right, Whitney and Wayne and the tribe. Right. $350,000 paid off in 4 months. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
Okay,
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free!
They have been practicing. Way to go, guys. On behalf of the little sister, well done. Well done. Man, that's a beautiful story. This is The Ramsey Show. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Ken, that last debt-free scream was incredible. But what was so interesting is that it illustrates how fast you can turn your life around. Sometimes it takes a little time, but how fast the whole process can begin. And 100% of that is between your ears.
It's correct.
You have to decide.
Yeah.
You're not worried about, once he saw something he believed in, once she saw something they believed, this, I would rather have this than where I am. Then you no longer care what, whoever's going to say. Your broke friend from college, your broke brother-in-law that votes the wrong way, you don't really care what they say once you reach that point because you're like, you're not giving me any money anyway.
Yeah.
I want to be free. And once they said, okay, freedom is the trade-off, they went for it fast and hard, and the contentment came, man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she goes to a house with 4 little tiny babies.
Oh, yeah.
That's half or less the size.
Well, it speaks to motivation. They get to that point, and you just laid it out beautifully, where you decide, okay, what do I want my desired future to be? Do I want to be free of all this debt, all the stress, the practice? Maybe he's running a practice, get all these things. And then you go, okay, wait a second. On the other side of this sacrifice of getting rid of my really nice home in the really nice neighborhood, downsizing, dealing with the chaos, all of the things, on the other side of this is true contentment and peace. Then you get motivated. You go, okay, I'm willing to sacrifice to put up with that for a season. And you pointed out, it's only for a season.
Yeah, but there's a trade-off. There's always pain.
Yep.
Live like no one else so that later you can live and give like no one else. Back in the golden age of golf, if you want to call it that, the great Gary Player was one of the long drivers of the day. And the old story goes that he was standing there at the driving range, just whipping that ball out there, 300 yards, 320 yards, this kind of stuff, back when no one did that. I mean, there was no DeChambeau in those days, right?
That's right.
And, a guy came up and said, I'd give anything to hit a ball like that. I guess he caught Mr. Player at a bad moment.
Yeah.
Because he turned around and kind of let into him, as the story goes, and says, no, you wouldn't. The guy goes, yeah, I would. And he goes, oh, no, you wouldn't. You wouldn't go to the driving range and hit balls until your hands bleed, and then you tape your hands, and then you hit balls for another 3 hours after that. You wouldn't do that day in and day out, week in and week out, month in and month out, year after year, until you had calluses over your hands, until you could swing a club like that. You won't pay that price to win. You'd rather watch me do it. And that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
And, but that's kind of smart aleck answer, but it's also accurate.
That's right.
You can't say I'd give anything to be thin like that. Yeah, you would. You can. You just give up the pizza.
Yeah.
Back away from the soft drinks, the bread table, whatever it is that's killing you. Exercise more, eat less. When you're ready to do the trade-off to get the win, that's when you'll get the win.
That's correct. There is no progress absent of pain. It's just not. There's always going to be some pain, emotional pain. If you want your marriage to get fixed, it means you're going to have to sit your butt with a counselor and deal with some stuff and dig.
And you're going to have to give up some things you've been doing that have been causing that.
Yeah. There's always pain as part of the process to make the progress you want in any area of your life, certainly financially. And we just have to embrace that.
It's true in your career.
Oh my gosh, you're going to have to, start out on the lowest rung of the ladder if you're making a pivot, or if you're coming out of school, you got to pay your dues. That's painful for some people, right?
We did this thing 1,000 years ago. I guess I was in high school, which was 1,000 years ago. And I actually think maybe we did it. No, we did it with the early versions of the Ramsey personal finance curriculum. You would draw, the teacher's guide had a series of jobs with dollar amounts on them. And they would cut them out, and you would draw out of a hat. And if you drew a good job, your budget was going to be a lot bigger. If you drew a not so good job, your budget was going to be smaller. But either way, you drew. And you know what? That's just not how it really works, is it?
No, not at all. No.
You don't get to draw.
No, you do not.
Doctor!
Yeah, you got to learn, and then you got to earn.
You go to school forever. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Then you can say, doctor!
Right.
But you're not going to, it just doesn't, you don't get to draw it out of a hat. You got to go do it.
It's true.
No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but it yields a harvest of righteousness. That couple was impressive.
They were. And you talk about the pain. I mean, the early days of you starting this company. I mean, that's painful.
Yeah. I'd give anything to have you're so lucky. That one does piss me off.
Exactly.
Luck had nothing to do with it.
No.
Unbelievable hard work over 30 years and God's blessings. That's the only thing. Luck had nothing to do with it. God chose to grow a crop after we chose to plant it.
Correct.
And those two things work together. You work like it all depends on you. You pray like it all depends on God. And both show up. Luck had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's true.
So don't talk to me about luck. And please don't tell me that the Democrats built this. Please. I'll just really get upset then. It's a problem. A few of them worked here, but... that's not that many, but a few of them. And a few of them still do. They sneak in the building sometimes. I'm kidding. I love you, Democrats. I love you.
Yeah, he does. He does. I promise.
I do. I really do. Tom is with us. Tom is in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Hey, Tom, what's up?
Hi, gentlemen. How you doing today?
Great, man. How can we help?
Well, my employer is terminating the pension that they actually stopped the pension in like 1996, but now they are freeing their hands of it, and I need to do something with it by August 5th, and we either have to take a lump sum, an annuity, or defer payment till later. I want to take the lump sum.
Yes, you do.
I want to invest it.
Yes, you do.
And it's a critical investment for me at this time in my life. I'm 57 years old.
Absolutely, you do. That's exactly what you want to do. Here's the thing. When you die, a pension dies with you.
Right.
Okay. So how much money is this lump sum?
$53,000.
Okay. Good. You don't want to lose $53,000 upon your death, so we're going to roll it. Your lump sum, you can roll it into an IRA. It'll have no taxes. And $53,000 is not going to make you rich, and it's not going to make you poor if you lost it all, but you're not going to do either one. So it's great with this. I hope you do some other things that make you rich. But it's a good start. I'll take it if you send it to me. I'm not mad about it, but it's not $500,000. It's not $5,000, right? So what I would do is I would sit down with one of our SmartVestor pros, people we recommend. We're not in the investment business, if you didn't know, Tom. We just have a group of brokers out there, a group of financial guys and gals that we endorse, that we have vetted. And you can choose from among them by clicking SmartVestor at Ramsey Solutions. And here's the thing. You're feeling the weight of this decision. Anytime we have a decision that has a lot of weight to it, the way to get comfortable with it is study, knowledge, and sit down with that SmartVestor Pro and tell them, I'm worried about this, and the only way my worry is going to go away is the more I know. So you got to teach me a lot between now and August the 5th. I need to learn a lot. You don't have to get a master's degree in finance, but you need to know what a mutual fund is, how it works, what the track record is. I'm going to buy this mutual fund. Like one of the first mutual funds I ever bought, Tom gave me a lot of peace because it was one of the first times I'd ever done it. And it's a mutual fund that today is over 80 years old. And it's got like a 12.2% rate of return over 80 years average. And that gave me a lot of comfort. And out of the 80 years or whatever it is, 83 years, however old the thing is, there's only like, 12 years or something it was down. The rest of the time it was up.
Wow.
See, when you start getting that knowledge, then the weight of the decision starts coming off your shoulders, and you go, oh, okay. It's like buying a house in a good neighborhood. Mm-hmm. The trees are big. It's predictable. We don't know if this is going to work. We do know this is going to work because it's worked for a long time. Yeah. And so we're looking at track record and history, and you're studying and learning, and that will remove a lot of the stress. Do not transfer the stress from your shoulders to the other guy and go, well, he picked it out. No, you're going to pick it out. You're going to learn. You need an investment person with the heart of a teacher. So click SmartVestor Pro, SmartVestor at Ramsey Solutions. You'll find one of the SmartVestor Pros, and you'll be just fine, Tom. Just learn. It'll give you peace. This is The Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. This is The Ramsey Show.
You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career.
You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. This is The Ramsey Show. We help people build wealth, do work that they really love, and create actual amazing relationships. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Ken is the host of The Ken Coleman Show, heard on 75 radio stations, multiple millions on podcast, and has done 2 best-selling books so far, all in the area of career, helping you find the job, the career that you love. 888-825-5225. Thomas is with us. Thomas is in Boston, Mass. What's up, Thomas?
Hi. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure.
Well, I'm glad that you're doing better than you deserve. I love that phrase. I'm 59 years old, and about a year ago, my father passed away, and we sold his house, and I received a portion of the funds, along with my brothers, about $175,000. About 5 years ago, I went through a divorce, and I bought a small house that's appreciated in value about $128,000. So my question is, and I have, I'll just kind of give you the lay of the land. I have about $100,000 in my IRA at my present job, $53,000 in a rollover from a previous job, a small pension that will also come from my present job if I stay there until I retire, and $75,000 in cash in my bank account. That's the other chunk of money that came from the sale of the house. I gave an investment company about $100,000 to invest, and then lately I've been thinking, I've been listening to your show for a couple of months now, and the thing that really struck me lately is just, even though I'm older and I never made a ton of money in my lifetime, I've always been a working artist. And the company I work for presently, I'm a video 3D artist. I do a lot of animations and prototypical videos for engineers, scientific videos. Anyway, at this time, I thought to myself, I bought this house, but maybe I could pull the money back out of the investment company that I put the money into. I know the market is not doing that great, but I've also heard you say that if you pull money out, you lose. It's like jumping off the roller coaster, so you lose, even though the market's gone down in value a little bit.
How much is your mortgage?
So my mortgage is $1340 a month.
No. What's the balance?
Oh, the balance $200,000 left. The house I bought for $278,000 at the time.
Okay, so if you used your cash and your $100,000 investment, you wouldn't have enough to pay it off.
No, but I'd come pretty close. If I paid, the 100 that I gave them or close to it, and the 75 that's in the bank, I'd probably be 40,000, 35, maybe 40,000 out from paying it off.
And what do you make
in the next year or two? I make about 80,000 per year.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And when did you put the 100,000 into investments?
I started it in January.
Yeah. So you got 80,000 now.
Yeah, it's gone down a bit.
Yeah.
And that's what I was wondering, whether to just leave it in there and let it come back and find some other way, and just start doubling up like crazy or whatever and paying the house off myself.
Yeah. So what I would do is take the 75 cash and throw it at the house, and then I would start throwing money out of your income at the house as fast as you can. Like you were saying, put another 40 on there. And by then, maybe the market will have come back up a little.
Yeah.
And, if you got back up to 100, that'd be the time, and you were within striking range. But because you're going to lock in a 20% loss right now, You bought high and sell low. I wouldn't lock it in because it doesn't get you out of debt. If it paid off everything, I'd be tempted, but you still got the house payment.
Yeah.
And so what I would do is just wait. So I'd throw 75 at it today, and I'd throw everything else I could get my hands on at it and then over the next months, 6 months or something, watch this stock market recover. And if it gets back up in that 100 range and it gets within where that 100 will pay off your house because you paid it down far enough, then when it'll pay off the house, that's when I'll pull it out.
Okay. When it can pay it off. Okay.
Yeah, no, because you've paid the house down to where this account is at 100 or so, and it's gone back up to 100. You see what I'm saying?
I'm sorry.
So 175 does not pay off your house. You owe how much?
No, I owe $200,000 left.
Okay, so you need to pay $25,000 down on this house out of your income before you cash out this investment.
Okay.
And then if the investment is gotten big enough by that time that it will pay off the house 100%, that's when I would pay it off.
Okay.
And throw 75 at the house today. That's the mix of the thing. So, yeah, we don't time the market, Ken. We're not trying to jump in or jump out of the market on the based on what's going on. And so if this would pay off his house 100%, I'd probably do it even with the market down. But it doesn't. He's still got the cash flow drain. He's still got the $1,300 a month going with his mortgage, and all we did was just lose 20%, lost $20,000. Meantime, we could let that roller coaster ride on through the ride and see how it does a little bit while we're doing this, and that's why I'm trying to figure that out.
For the new listener, the new viewer, let's say that the market does recover, which we believe it will, obviously, and it gets it back up, right?
Yeah.
Why pay off the house versus just continue to invest that $100,000? Why would you recommend that?
Well, several reasons. One is that all of our study of millionaires and all of our anecdotal interaction with them for 30 years indicates that one of the key things that causes your net worth to get $1 million to $10 million, your first $10 million, is a paid off house, number one. There's a whole lot of data that indicates that that's a big part of people getting to a high level of net worth, which helps you have stability. The second reason you have a paid off house, you're 59 years old. By the time we finish this routine, he's going to be in his 60s somewhere, okay? Now, you do not want to enter your golden years with a mortgage. Having a paid-for home gets rid of the largest line item in your budget. The most expensive thing in the household budget is typically a mortgage. And if you don't have those expensive things in your budget, it requires a lot less to live. You've got a lot higher quality of life. You can do a lot of other things that you wanted to do in your golden years, but couldn't do because you were strapped to a stinking house. I mean, you won't be 82 years old paying a mortgage. People do. They get stuck in that, but that's not a target. That's not a desired future. So, good question. Open phones here on The Ramsey Show. We're glad you're with us. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Thanks for joining us, America. This Thursday, we're going to be hosting a free live stream event called the Real Estate Reality Check. There's rumors of the market crashing, rumors of it going up, rumors and rumors and rumors, and everybody's got an opinion and everybody's got a feeling, and feelings and opinions won't get you there, boys and girls. So what you need are facts, and then you can decide for yourself. I've predicted a whole lot of things correctly, and I've predicted a few things incorrectly. I said very resolutely in 2008 we were not going into a recession, and I was so wrong. It was unbelievable. We obviously went into one. This time last year, I told you there was going to be a bunch of inflation. I was right. I picked that one. Okay. The real estate thing, I generally know because I grew up in that business and I've got a degree in that, which involves economics and other stuff. And so I feel really, really good about analyzing the data there, but I'll put the data out there for you. I'm going to show you the charts and graphs, and Rachel Cruz and George Camel and I are going to discuss it. Rachel will be there. Everybody likes Rachel, so that should be the nice part of the night. Her and George.
Yeah.
And then I'll just be, the other guy. And so anyway, spoiler alert: the real estate market's not going to crash, but we're going to show you exactly why we think that, and then you can decide. You decide what you want to do. Some of you have already made up your mind, but you made up your mind based on fear and having a discussion, smoking pot with your brother-in-law. And, you didn't have any facts that you were dealing with. And you were just, you're just high and had an opinion, and that there's a whole lot of people running around. And then they go buy a house the next week or don't buy a house the next week because of this. And that's just dumber than a rock, man. So I don't mind if you disagree with me, but at least be intelligent while you're doing it. Okay, at least have it based on facts, not on feelings and bogus, red herrings that you're chasing on some conspiracy theory. Don't cut it. So here we go. We're going to talk you through every bit of it, and then you can agree or disagree. If you've got someone that's kind of scared but they need some hope, we're going to show them why there is real reason to have hope. Not just because we're Pollyanna, but because there's actual facts and data that there's reason to have hope. And so we're going to show you what's going on. Yeah, there's some crap going on out there, man. I mean, it's a mess. We're probably going into a recession, not officially yet. We've definitely got inflation that we've not seen in decades right now. Is that going to stick around? We've got higher interest rates. I say high. They're not higher. They're higher. They're not high. It's still 6%. It's not exactly high. You're talking to a guy listening to a guy who sold real estate when rates were 18 and 15 in the early 80s. And people were buying houses. And it's credit card interest rates on houses. And so, it's 6% is not high, but it is higher than 3.
Yeah.
And so it's enough reason to be bothered about it. So that's the kind of stuff we're going to be covering. It's this Thursday, July the 14th at 7 p.m. Tell your friends it's free. Just go and register to watch it. We'll be broadcasting it from our website at RamseySolutions.com/reality check to get signed up. We'll send you the link, and voila, you'll be able to do it and make things happen there. Good stuff. All right, Melissa's with us in Mesa, Arizona. Hi, Melissa. How are you?
Dave, I'm better than I deserve. How are you?
Just the same. What's up?
All right. So I'm on baby step 3B, but my question is about baby step 4. I'm a part of Arizona's retirement pension, which is a required 12%. And so I've already been contributing anyway through my baby steps 1, 2, and 3.
You had to.
But what I'm wondering is if I should start my baby step 4 by investing the difference in the market right now because it's down, and how much should I be doing to get to my 15%?
Oh. Okay. Well, here you have to do the 12%. As you said, it's mandatory. It's not an option. So we recommend, as you know, in baby step 4, putting 15% of your income. So you're certainly going to put in at least 3%, right?
Okay.
12 plus 3 to get you to 15, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, I discount the pension somewhat for 2 reasons. One is you have absolutely no control over what it's invested in. They decide. Now, I'm not predicting that the Arizona pension is weak and is going to go belly up and you're going to lose your money. I don't think that's going to happen. Okay. But you don't have any choices here, and when you don't have choices, you don't have control of your destiny. So I can't mathematically treat that the same as when you put money in your 401k and you have the choice. Follow me?
Yeah.
The second thing is that pensions are more highly regulated in that because so many of them did go broke back in the day, that the federal regulations on pensions require them to invest so much more conservatively than you would or I would, that the rate of return on the pension sucks. And so most pensions...
I think it's at about 7.
Yeah, about 7 is where they're going to set. They're going to invest just aggressively enough to get up to that, and after that, they've met their guidelines, and they don't want to take any chances, and they don't want anybody leaning in on them from the government regs looking over their shoulder or something like that. So you can depend on 7, where, you know, in my mutual funds, I've been investing for 30 years. I've averaged about 12. Okay.
Right.
So that's a big difference. If you got 11, maybe it'd still be a big difference, right? If you average what the S&P 500 has. So because it's not going to perform as well, and I don't have control over it, I don't want to count it at a full 12%. So I'd put in at least 5% more in addition to this. And if you want to get
3 + 5 being 8.
Yeah, and so you'd be at 17 effectively instead of 15, but we're kind of discounting that 12 a little because you don't have control of it and because it's got a poor rate of return. That's how I view it. Now, you can do whatever you want to do, but that's my analysis of it and what I would do if I woke up in your shoes, that kind of a thing. And Ken, we're seeing in the job market the pensions are just about gone.
Yeah, and here's the deal. Do we trust state governments to really make the best financial decisions? It depends what state you live in, you know, but there are some where it's highly questionable. And so you make
Illinois,
a very good point. No.
Illinois,
yeah.
You know, geez.
Yeah.
You can mess up Christmas up there, people. I've never seen anything like it.
And this really hedging protection is what the advice you're giving there. It's like, hey.
But some states, I mean, like Tennessee, we have a constitutional mandate for the budget to be balanced.
That's right.
And so Tennessee, by governance, by the documents in place, is run better.
That's right.
Than some of these areas. So that pension is going to be a lot more safe in that state than it is in Illinois.
That's right.
And so, but that's the. And I have no idea what Arizona's doing. I have a respect for the state of Arizona, so I suspect it's probably pretty good.
Much more.
But I don't have anything to base that on other than a feeling. I haven't looked at it.
That's right. And to your point, though, even private sector, the pension is really a thing of the past. And so having a real solid strategy that we teach here, we were meeting recently going over the numbers, long term. The advice you just gave, I mean, double check him on this, folks. He's right. If you just look at that investment strategy that we teach here at Ramsey Solutions, it's going to pay off long term. And so don't rely on just the pension. I think that's incredible advice. That's extra, not a whole lot extra, but it's a little bit of gravy.
And as you get your house paid off and you're in baby step 7, you know, you're going to max out everything anyway.
Everything.
So, and you're going to have really sweet stuff aside from the pension. And then, as you said, at that point, the pension really becomes gravy.
Yeah.
But, you know, when I started 30 years ago, like 70% of the company still had pensions.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's probably 10%.
What is the reason for that? Just it wasn't economically smart for the companies, I'm guessing?
Well, the 401k came in like a rage.
Yeah, certainly a better option.
And guess what? You don't have to put any money in if you're the company on the
correct.
401k. Right. Nowadays, about 80% of the people, 85% of the companies match something on the 401k, but still costs the company nowhere near
what a pension
as much as funding a pension as a benefit.
Wow.
And so the cost goes way down for the employer, and the result is actually better for the team members.
It's correct.
You know, and when it's all said and done. Now, the difference with the pension is in her case, she's mandatory has to put it in.
Yep, that's correct.
But in a lot of cases, the employer is completely furnishing, in the old days, the pension. But those days are pretty much gone. So the bad news is it's up to you. The great news is it's up to you.
Yes.
This is The Ramsey Show. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. We love doing debt-free screams. We extra love doing debt-free screams in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, and we extra love doing debt-free screams in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions when it's one of our own team members. and that's true today. Dylan Foley is with us, and his wife, Kate. They are part of our team, part of our family here at Ramsey, have been for just a little while, but have gotten to be debt-free. Congratulations, guys!
Thank you.
Thank you. So proud of y'all. Very cool. All right, tell people how much debt you paid off.
We paid off $120,000.
Very cool. And how long did this take?
Took 3 years.
Good for you. And I won't ask your income because half your team is standing around. That would be completely tacky and unfair. It's probably tacky and unfair that I do it to other people, but I'm not going to do it to you. So way to go, guys. Now, tell us your story. You started here how long ago?
I started in September, Dave.
Okay, just the other day, it feels like.
Yeah,
Coming up on your first year, though.
Coming up.
And what do you do here? Remind everybody.
I work with Smart Dollar. I'm a relationship manager with Smart Dollar.
Which means you?
I manage relationships, work with clients in the HR world with different companies all over the U.S.
Yeah, where companies are wanting to put Smart Dollar, which is our program, in as an HR benefit to have their employees learn how to handle money. Yeah. And it's called Smart Dollar, and has the Every Dollar product tied with it and everything. And so everything from small businesses to huge companies like Costco have had this, all their employees go through it and pay for it as a benefit for their team, and you help people do that.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure I get this right. Because I'm supposed to turn this into an ad for your boss, right? Okay, so just making sure we get this dialed in. Way to go, man. So proud of y'all. Okay, $120,000 in debt was what kind of debt?
So it was a little bit of credit card, a little bit of medical debt, and the big chunk of it was student loans.
My student loan.
Yeah.
Your student loan?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you do?
I'm a nurse.
Oh, very cool.
Yep.
Okay, so how much of the 120 was student loans?
It was about 100.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long y'all been married?
3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And this, did you move here to take this job to Nashville?
Yes, from the Bronx.
Oh, wow. Big culture change. Yeah.
Small one.
From hot pretzels to grits.
Nice. Well played, Dave. Very well played. I like that one.
That's good. Way to go, guys. Yeah, so obviously it's working out for you. You stuck around.
Yes.
So good. We're glad to have you. Good stuff. And you had to be, you're well into this journey, almost 2 years into the journey when you come here. So tell us your story. How did you end up here, and how does that weave into the whole story?
Yeah, so Dave, I was a full-time musician for a little while back in my single days. And I was playing all over, and I was actually on a trip up to Buffalo with an accordion player, and he said, Dylan, we got the 7-hour trip. Do you mind if I catch up on some talk radio? I'm like, yeah, sure. So he puts on the Ramsey Show, and we listened to that for.
We're big with accordion players.
Well, a wild, crazy group. The accordion people love us.
Yeah, we got that group dialed in. What do you play?
I play the fiddle.
Oh yeah,
that's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, that's great.
Good accompaniment. Okay, so cool.
Yeah.
All right. And what made you decide to move to Nashville?
Oh my gosh! Well, part of it was getting out of New York during the COVID times. Kate being a nurse, and
you were stuck, weren't you?
Yeah, I was in the middle of it up there.
We started working the program in 2019 after we got married, and then 2020 COVID hit, and it was just it was hard. It was really hard. Kate had 2 miscarriages, and it was just it was a really hard time.
And we got COVID.
And we got COVID too, of course, right?
And there's not a lot of fiddle and accordion work at that time either.
No,
this is true. This is true. Yeah. It definitely dried up the music stuff.
Wow. So Nashville's a whole complete culture change. Mm-hmm. So are you refugees, or is this now home?
Oh, this is home.
This is home.
110%.
Okay, very, very cool.
Not to mention, Dave, there's a fiddle every other house here in Tennessee.
He has no trouble finding other fiddle players. Now those accordion guys, they're a little more rare.
Sure about
saying. All right, so he turns on talk radio, and you come home and tell her we're going to try this.
Well, yeah. So that this was before Kate. I was on tour, and I started working the plan myself, and managed to get out of debt at the time, and then we met, and then we got married, and then we started working the plan. So yeah.
Okay. All right. And so you knew what to do with that $100,000 in student loan when you met her.
It was go time.
Yes.
It was go time.
Came on, and it didn't have to talk you into it, I guess.
Not really. No, I was ready.
All right. Very cool. All right. Now that you've done it, what do you tell people? Because you get to tell people every day on your job.
Yeah.
What's the key to getting out of debt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say communication, perseverance, sacrifice, and prayer.
Oh,
that's a good
Dylan, write that down. That's your sales pitch. Right there. She just dialed it in for you.
Yep.
Okay, that's what you can.
Yeah.
Next time you're talking to an HR manager, some company's deciding whether to have this. This is what they do.
Yes.
And because this is real world. That exactly works.
Yeah.
Say it one more time.
Communication, perseverance, sacrifice, and prayer.
That's it. That's a formula for success right there in anything, but certainly in getting out of debt.
Yeah.
So Dylan, what do you say?
Well, definitely the prayer, hope and don't worry. That's what I was.
That was a big mantra during all of this. Was
Big
pray,
time.
hope, and don't worry.
Yeah, be anxious for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What were you? I love that. Let's stay there. When you say don't worry, what were you guys fighting worry against? What were you worried about?
Oh man, well it was just a constant push of can we do this, right? It was 120,000.
Yeah.
It felt like a bear. I remember in the
and then in the middle of a bear attack, you get like 2 miscarriages, lose your jobs, COVID, and a government that's gone crazy.
Exactly.
I mean, this is a hard time to have a bear attack.
Yeah.
Man, wow. That is perseverance right there.
It really is. It's interesting. The smart dollar is an incredible benefit for people, and the data shows that when people are debt-free and don't have money worries, they're able to come to work and actually focus on the task at hand and to excel. Both of you on the other side of this, what is it like for you now to be a nurse? Dylan, to do what you do without the stress of debt. What's it like?
Oh, so much freedom. There's so much freedom in it.
It's so refreshing, to not have that worry.
And you don't have to stay in a toxic environment. You've got choices.
Yes.
And you don't. They start going cray-cray. At it wouldn't happen here, but it could happen at the other place. You can just go, see ya.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's really true though. When you're not worried about debt, you go, I can get a paycheck somewhere else. I'm not going to stay in a place that doesn't value me.
Yeah. It changes your career choices. Man, I'm so proud of y'all. You're
Thank
amazing. You got the whole team down here to cheer you on.
Yes.
Life is good. Very, very cool. Very, very well done. Well, we've got copies of all the books and stuff for you. You know that drill. Baby Steps Millionaires and Total Money Makeover, all to help you. And you've already been through Financial Peace, but we'll give you another one. You can give that to somebody as a free giveaway, one of your buddies or something. And so we're so glad you're here on the team. You're obviously a sharp young couple. Honored to have you.
Great. Thank you
so much.
Very, very, very well done. All right, Dylan and Kate from Nashville. Oh, wait a minute. There's no, you're Kate. I'm sorry, Dylan and Kate. I got it backwards. Okay, I'm losing my mind. I thought there was a kid. I'm looking at the parentheses wrong. I'm sorry on my notes. My bad. All right, Dylan and Kate, part of the Ramsey team. Goodness gracious, Dave. $120,000 paid off in 3 years. We're not going to tell their income. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Yeah! That's how it's done. That is a real-life example of the migration that has occurred in our country to where she can now be a nurse and he can work, and he's in a town where there's lots of musicians, and they wouldn't have been here if it hadn't been for several of those things that ganged up on them. But they said, hey, we got to go do something different, and look at them starting a new life. Good stuff. This is the Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Psalms 149:4. For the Lord takes delight in his people. He crowns the humble with victory. Eleanor Roosevelt said, "We do not have to become heroes overnight, just a step at a time, meeting each thing that comes up, seeing it not as dreadful as it appears, discovering we have the strength to stare it down." Yeah. You know, it's funny. I think Eleanor Roosevelt probably had better quotes than her husband.
Oh, without a question, she gets more print after her life in presidency, his presidency.
And see, there's a good Democrat. See, we're good to Democrats sometimes. So gotta have some fun with this. But no, my favorite quote of hers, and I don't know if I can get it exactly right, is the great minds or small minds talk about people. Mediocre minds talk about events, and great minds talk about ideas.
Yeah,
or something about like that. That's very close to it. But yeah, talking about people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's always the smallest mind in the room.
Yeah.
And the big mind, the noble mind, will be talking about ideas, discussing ideas, arguing ideas, and instead of just name calling and flame throwing. Yeah. Chris is with us. Chris is in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Hi, Chris. How are you?
I'm good, Dave. How about yourself?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, I call you with, I feel like it's a good problem to have. Me and my wife, we've been married 3 months now or so. We have a 2-year-old daughter. I opened a business going on about 1 calendar year ago, and I mean I'm making more money than I would ever thought possible.
Good for you.
My question for you is, I have, I've only got really 3 debts. I have a car, $65,000 in a car for her. I have a vehicle myself, $33,000 what I owe in it. And we have a house, $405,000 owed on the house. The only catch on the house is being self-employed. The house is a 5/1 ARM mortgage at current rate is 4.25%. We bought it about actually right when we got married. We got married and moved into our house. So we're 3 months into the house. My question is,
what do you make?
My wife makes about $55,000. I make about $410,000 now.
Why do you still have car debt?
Well, here's my thing. The first year that I was in business, I bought equipment, I bought things to help my business, paid for it cash, and the rest of it, I was just redneck rich. We went out to fancy dinners. We went everywhere. We bought everything.
$400,000 worth?
Yeah. Well, I have about $60,000 in savings.
You're saying $400,000 was your profit on the business last year that you paid taxes on?
No, well, yes. $400,000 was my income. I pay all I have overhead now is fuel, and that's taxes. I'm a single employee. I don't have employees or anything.
Okay. All right.
So
how much money do you have? Any money?
Yeah, I've got about $60,000, give or take, in the bank sitting there.
Yeah, pay off her car today.
Okay.
And then go pay off the other one, pay off the $33,000 car today, and then go pay hers off next month.
Okay. My question essentially was, do I, being self-employed, I make very good money now, I feel. Do I throw everything that I have at the mortgage, being a 5/1, or do I kind of pay it normal or pay it a little hard and put money in the bank, and then towards the end of the 5/1, pay it off real hard, and that way, if there is any sort of a recession, not huge. I mean,
how projectable, stable do you think this income stream is?
If I make $400 now and we get a recession, I think I may be able to. It may drop down to $220-ish, about half. But I mean, that's still great money, I feel.
Yeah.
But I'm in the concrete business, so I mean, as long as there's still some sort of construction, we still are going to be doing work.
Okay. Wow. And I'm going to verify because I want to make sure I've got your business acumen straight. You're saying this $400 is taxable income that you paid taxes on.
I make about $1,800 a day.
It's not your gross. $1,800 a day is your gross revenue.
Yeah, gross.
You have business expenses out of that. What is your net profit?
I literally only pay fuel. Fuel and taxes is what I pay per day, and then the rest is profit for me.
Okay. All right. Wow, that's wonderful. Okay, so because whatever the equipment is involved, you've already paid for it, and so that's no longer.
I paid cash for that.
You've got some repairs here or there or whatever on that, but nothing major.
Little stuff.
Yeah,
the first year was paying. The first year, I mean, the equipment's about $150,000.
Okay, here's what I want you to do. All right, you've explained this beautifully, and Ken, I think he's analyzed it well, in that he feels like he just reached up and got the gold ring. You know, I mean, and it's almost surprising to you that you're making this kind of money. I hear that in your voice.
Oh gosh, I'm shocked.
Yeah, and you feel blessed, and that's a good position to be emotionally. Now, what I want that to lead you to do is, instead of letting that lead you to be sloppy, I want you to feel the weight of the responsibility of that kind of money.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of the opposite end of the spectrum of redneck rich. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And so that's going to involve, like, I'm going to start treating this very, very seriously, like I'm a rich guy, because you are. Okay? And now now what is the smartest thing I can do so that when this story is over, you have $20 million? And if you'll behave and have a nice life, I'm not talking about live in a cave and collect lint, but I am talking about, just behave and be diligent and intentional with every one of these dollars. You easily could have $20 million when this story's finished.
Okay.
But you're going to have to all I want you to do is just do everything on purpose instead of waking up with a financial hangover when this is over.
I totally understand. My question would have,
Yeah, and that means pay off these cars and turn around and pay this house off. You make $400K, act like you make $100, and let's clear a bunch of this debt. And you're sitting there with paid for cars, paid for house. Now there's nothing left to do but incredible generosity, enjoy life, and invest for the future.
I like that.
And you can do all three beautifully, and I'm talking like 36 months from now.
I mean, that sounds great. That makes me smile thinking about it.
But that means you're not going to be living like you've been living for the past 2 years.
Honestly, I ran out of stuff to buy. I
can tell. And then I called Dave.
I listened to you, on and off, especially before I had a business. I made about $55,000 a year. My wife made about the same as what she made, and I took a risk, opened my business, and it has done well.
So we're talking about, let's just use some round numbers just to wrap this up, okay? Here's what I'm doing in my head for you, all right? I'm hearing 450 and 400 on the house and 100 on cars. Did I hear that right? 450 income.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. And so if you lived on 100, that'd be 350, not counting taxes.
Yeah.
And that pays off $100,000 worth of cars really, really fast. You got some money in the bank. We already paid off some today. And then it's going to pay off the rest. You're not going to knock that house out. I'm telling you, 36 months is doable. Can you see that?
Oh, I understand. So my question was with the recession, I
don't have any idea what that's going to do to your business. That's why I was asking you about that. If you think the recession is going to slow down so much you're not going to get the concrete work and it's going to go down to 220, so what? Keep living on 100 and it slows down how fast you get the house paid off. Whoop-de-doop-de. House is still going to be paid for in under 4 years, and you're still young and you still have tremendous upside potential on this income. He's in a sweet spot.
Yeah, he's going to crush it. But, I'd get out of that. I think the question is, does he want to get out of that arm quickly or just pay it off before the arm runs out?
I just pay it off.
Yeah, so there's your answer. He's pay it off for it.
If you're going to take 10 years to pay it off, go get it refinanced. Yeah. But you're not. You shouldn't. If you do, that's irresponsible because you make so stinking much money. Clean it up, man. Yeah. Clean it up. You'll be glad you did. You'll be glad you leaned into this and made this a project. Treat it like you're managing a concrete project. Knock it out. Get her done. Hey, man, thanks for the call. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from the Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.